BMNation.com.
Previously on Angry Drunk Tales.
You just get dumber and dumber every day. You really are a dumb old cowboy, aren't you? You don't give a damn about anybody, not even your own mother.
Be angry.
Well, Ray was always uncomfortable eating with the family. I mean, after all, we do use knives and forks. Get out!
Me write angry emails.
With his teeth, Sue Ellen, how the hell do you think he bit me? Sue Ellen's not coming home, Mama. I don't care if you want to be with two chimpanzees and a goat.
Episode 21. Jesse emails
Chewbacca
and
Chewbacca
responds to somebody else.
Me still angry. Me continue to write long, rambling, drunken emails. Me continue to be angry over incident several weeks ago. Me have emotional intelligence of 5-year-old child. Me bitter and frustrated with myself over being drunken 300-pound tub of shit. Me undiagnosed paranoid schizophrenic. Me
Chewbacca
Me write angry emails. Me hate everyone.
Welcome to episode 21 of Angry Drunk Tales. I'm Matt Connerton.
And I'm Jen Coffey.
And before we get into where we are at this point in the story, we have begun receiving some pretty interesting emails from
Chewbacca
recently. I won't disclose what's in them, but any concern that this show might have a shorter run than originally thought has we've been assuaged of that because we do continue to receive angry emails from
Chewbacca.
And I don't know if we'll ever actually catch up to the present day. I don't know. I mean, as we record this, we'll catch up.
We do get ones that say, and this will be my last message on this.
Yeah.
And then, time goes by.
I mean, we're only up till July 16th in our story because we're doing this chronologically.
I mean, it's so fascinating to see what will happen next.
Yes, yes.
And it's so much easier to be on the outside now, and it's more fun. It's certainly not fun to get those kind of emails when you're under the same roof.
Right.
But when you're in your own pleasant and warm environment.
Yeah. As we're doing this show now, it's been just over a month.
Yeah, it's been over a month
since we left.
Chewbacca.
It's been over 2 months for me because I left a few weeks prior to you.
Was it a few weeks?
About 2 weeks.
I think maybe 2 weeks.
Maybe 2 weeks.
I think maybe two. I think 2 weeks. Yeah. So
one of us had you had the unfortunate job of staying behind and keeping an eye on all of our things and our cats.
Yes, absolutely. So at this point in our story, July 16th is where we are now.
Incidentally, did you know that July 16th was my birthday?
Yes, but the listeners didn't.
But now they do.
So this happened. So what happens next happened on your birthday. And we have a twist. We have a twist in our story for your birthday because something happened on your birthday that I did not sanction. I did not approve of this, but
I did not disapprove of it.
I know.
At all. I felt it was very heartfelt and honest. And
what happened is your son Jesse, who had been out. Now, how long had he been out of the apartment at this point?
By this point, he'd been out for
at least a couple of weeks, right?
Oh, longer than that.
Okay.
At least a month.
Well, I woke up on the morning of July 16th to find that Jesse had sent
Chewbacca
an email. Now, I was displeased, to say the least, because what I wanted to do was, because at this point we knew what we were going to do. You know, I was there keeping an eye on everything, and we were going to, and then originally the plan was we would be out at the end of the month, but we were going to have a little bit of lag in where we were originally going to go in terms of what the new place was going to be. So at the end of the month, we were going to be out and stay with a friend of yours.
Mm-hmm. While our new place was finished off.
Right. So that was our plan. So my mindset was I just want to try to keep things cool and not, you know, not rattle the cage, not poke the bear until we're out.
I didn't think he was poking the bear.
Well,
I thought he was trying to appease in some way to try and make life better for his mom is where his head was at.
Right. But he sends this email to
Chewbacca.
And the thing is, from my point of view at the time, and I know we've talked about, we've discussed all this off air, and I think you understand my position.
Oh, we both do.
I was the one, I felt like at this point, I'm the one in the apartment having to deal with this guy. So I didn't need any complications. So I wake up on July 16th. And just to be clear, I have no issue with the content of the email itself. I just had wished that Jesse could have waited until I was out of the apartment having to deal with this guy.
I think I was still in the apartment then.
No, you were
was
out.
I out then?
You were out. Yep. You were at our friend's.
Yes, that's right.
So it was just me in the apartment, and I wake up to this. But I was not happy with the timing of it at all, because I knew what
Chewbacca's
reaction was going to be. But we have for you now, in his own words, because he is going to read it himself. Jesse is going to read to you now his email to
Chewbacca,
so you can hear it from Jesse himself.
You be the judge,
and then we will come back, and I will have
Chewbacca's
response to that email. So here it is.
Dear
Chewbacca,
I feel that it's been enough time to have passed where I've sat idly by only to hear about your disdain and hatred for me. I apologize that you felt disrespected, regardless about the amount of times I had told you that I respected you and enjoyed your company and conversations. What hurts me most is that instead of coming to me and sitting down with me, having a chat with how you felt, you took it upon yourself to make the situation that I thought was going well into a shitstorm that you now see before you. I knew I came not paying a damn thing to my name. What I could offer was any assistance and help needed, and I respected the home I was in, because I had to leave the only home I knew for myself. I would offer you rides, help with building your bar, anything you needed from me. You knew you only had to ask. I thought of you as a friend. Yes, we disagreed politically, but politics is politics, and I do not let that come between what I thought was a friendship. You mentioned dirty looks. Until recently, with all that has happened, I never looked at you with any anger or distaste, but with concern. No, you are not my father, for I cannot help him. I looked at you with concern. You mentioned how you felt about your health, and I offered many times to go to the gym with you and anything to help you be a motivator. No one is beneath or above me. I treat all as equals. That one night where we got into an argument over your comments was because it was supposed to be a good laughing matter, not a time for statistics and actual reason as to why you thought you could kick a woman's ass. It was supposed to be in fun, not in anger or fight, which is why I stood up for a roommate you had also said you cared for and respected. I respected you until you decided to start this with my mother while she laid in the hospital bed. I respected you until you decided that talking poorly about me behind my back instead of coming to me was with how you felt.
Chewbacca,
I would have gladly sat down and talked with you. If you had just let me know, I am not a mind reader. I left you alone to your room because I respected the fact that you had to work hard as a coder, and I didn't wish to bother you. I had tried time and time again to engage in conversation with you, and you blew me off instead of simply telling me you felt disrespected. You hugged me and shook my hand after that night, and I was to assume that we could go back the next day having it be just one bad night. I'm sorry you felt wrong, but with all the experience you bolstered to have over me, I know that things being talked out is a much better way than what it led to today. I'll be sure to have what is mine out of your home, and to help my mother and Matt with what they need within the next 30 days given. Take care, Jesse.
So there you have it. That was Jesse's email to
Chewbacca.
Very well written, very well spoken.
Right. Like I said, I had no problem with the content of the email.
You just wish you were warned.
The time, well,
I give you,
no, more
well,
than that. I wish he had waited, but at the very least, I would have appreciated some sort of warning to say, hey, by the way, get ready to wake up to a shitstorm.
He was thinking he was going to make Mom's life a little bit easier by trying to be the adult in the room.
But if he had,
and have a real conversation. And incidentally, Eduardo never responded to Jesse.
Not directly, no.
In any way, shape, or form.
Right. But if Jesse had discussed it with us,
you just heard.
If Jesse had discussed it with us,
he had every
we could
right
have
as
told
an
him.
adult having a problem with another adult to try and deal with that adult. As an adult, his only issue is that he wasn't dealing with somebody who's an adult. He's dealing with somebody who has a mentality of a 5-year-old.
But my point of view was, I get all that, but I'm the one who still has to deal with this guy. Why make things harder for me?
Who's hiding in his friggin' room and typing away? The worst thing, he's going to click harder?
You understand, though, at this point,
I understand your perspective.
You guys get to say whatever you want because you don't have to deal with him anymore. I'm the one who has to deal with him.
Well, I was all for moving stuff out sooner.
Right. Well,
you didn't want
to. That would have been a nightmare. But anyway, the damage was done. So Jesse had sent the email.
A very well-written, well-spoken
Right. I have no problem with
email.
the content of it. Just the timing upset me.
But more interestingly,
Chewbacca
did not respond to Jesse.
No, he responded to me.
To you only.
Which I could have predicted. But so what we'll do is...
and it's interesting how he responds.
This is what I woke up to that morning. So we actually have 3 emails. I'm going to read them all to you, just one right after the other. They're shorter than
Chewbacca's
usual diatribes. They're not super short, but I think it makes sense to do these 3 in one episode. But they're not as long as some of
Chewbacca's
work typically is either. So this is how
Chewbacca
responded. And again, he did not respond directly to Jesse. He instead responded to me. Nice way to twist what was said, basically. I didn't say I could beat up a woman. Never came from my mouth, but whatever. I seriously do not care anymore. What I am most interested in is that he said something about you guys leaving in 30 days. Would like to know when that 30 days begins. Or when it began, so I can make plans and such. I said before I am going to keep going on arguing what happened. At the end of the day, Jesse moved out of his own accord. Blame it on me all you want, I simply don't care anymore. I didn't ask him to leave, I just said I felt so uncomfortable in my own house that I was looking for my own place. But the fact that his moving out, when that was not my decision, and all of that other stuff since, can be laid so easily by all of you on me, leads me to believe that you all are too willing to over-rationalize shit. Which in modern psychological terms is an indicator of sociopathic behavior. So whatever. At the end of the day, I simply am done caring. Feel pretty confident I told you this before, by the way. Not sure what you thought would be accomplished by having Jesse telling me that I am an asshole and that all of this is my fault. But that's essentially and obviously what you did, where he once again turned around what I said to fit his own case. So at the end of the day, the sooner you can leave, the better. If you think in some way or another you can hurt me, it's not possible. I do not need everyone to like me. And if you go around Manchester telling people what an asshole I am, guess what? You are going to find something real quick. Anyone who knows me will say, you must have done something to really piss him off. See, that's my reputation. I will help anyone out up to a point. But once you have reached the point where I feel taken advantage, disrespected, or insulted, or hurt of, well then, guess what? Sorry, but that point has been long since surpassed now. By the way, I have been taking my own trash out now for nearly 3 weeks. Would appreciate if you did likewise, before the cockroaches get into the trash under the sink. which is now overflowing all over the floor underneath. Seeing as how I haven't used those trash receptacles in 3 weeks now, none of it is my trash. Same in the bathroom. Hell, I am not even using any of the toilet paper in there now either. I have 2 rolls in my room. I did put one there a few days ago, and I see it's going down, but I did not expect that I should have to be the person to restock that shit, as I can always just walk to the bathroom with a roll. I am not going to get into an insult contest with you. I have my own opinion of you and Jen and Jesse, and my friends have told me that I am right in how I feel about you and such. So at the end of the day, I suppose it's just best for you all to leave. As far as Angela goes, it's not you guys plus Angela against me. If you think that means a damn thing to me, it doesn't. Angela to me is a separate problem. I don't even talk to Angela anymore. I'm fairly certain she knows where I stand with her. Hell, I've even taken homeless guys into my house before to help them out. I put my money where my mouth is. And people know this about me. So if you think down-talking me to anyone in this town will be of any benefit to you, then please go right ahead. Seeing as I am the guy who gets called a lot both in the past and present for stuff like job references and such. I am glad you feel like I am totally to blame here. It's a nice rationalization. Hold to that all you like. I'm sure it gives you warm and fuzzy feelings to be able to blame me for everything. I'm not saying I don't hold any fault here, but not really as much as you might want to heap upon me. So at the end of the day, after Jesse's email, I would prefer like hell that you move as quickly as possible. And by the way, some of that was because of the content of Jesse's email, and the fact that he refused to acknowledge that him and 2 of his buddies did all they could to make me feel insulted and disrespected. Being 20-something does not give you a special right to reinvent what was said, or how it was said, or anything else. I'm not one of his parents. I know what was said, and I do not have any reason whatsoever to give him special consideration. Sorry. At the end of the day, at 21, I was going to school and working a full-time job and had my own apartment and used to work on the side for my landlord too. The fact that he goes to college and does nothing else does not earn him any special thing in my book. And sorry, at 21, with no bills, he's not an adult either in my book. And the comments he made proved to me vividly, by the way, those comments about respecting elders and such are the kind of comments a teenager would make. Someone trying to rebel against authority and such. An adult who is working and has responsibilities and such would never make a comment like that. In fact, at Brothers, there is an 18-year-old who thinks that's a stupid statement. And the fact that he says that makes him more of an adult than Jesse. I've been through damn near everything in my life a person can go through, but I still respect people older than me, because I don't know what they have been through either. And how about simply, as a guest staying in someone's house, that you should ask before having a friend stay the night? This is not his mother's house. All of that behavior is childish as hell and shows a lack of respect for being a guest in someone else's house. Sorry, at the end of the day, you can blame me all day long for whatever you wish. But at the end of the day, it's my house. And I will not have a guest in my house acting as though he can just do anything they want without asking first, period. I'm not his daddy or mommy. He cannot expect that I allow him to walk on me the same way they might. There you go. At the end of the day, those were the 3 emails that
Chewbacca
sent to me at the end of the day.
I just have one question.
Yes.
Did anybody hear the same email we just heard? And where in the hell? I swear there English must be a second language or something, because all 3 of his emails don't contain anything that were in Jesse's message.
Right.
At all.
Right. Yeah.
At the end of the day, he is so stuck in his own little world that when something's staring him right in his face in black and white, he cannot absorb the knowledge long enough to retain it and to respond appropriately. It's like I don't know. It must be that feeling that people talk about when they think they're having a conversation with someone and then they realize that person is on some other planet and it's definitely not Earth.
A couple things, too, that jumped out at me. One is the thing about the trash.
That was funny.
We were not using the trash at all.
We weren't even using the kitchen.
Right.
I had
your own refrigerator.
I had my own refrigerator. I had a mini fridge and a Keurig.
Yeah.
In my bedroom.
Yeah.
I was totally set up golden. I had, my
were
cream, my ginger
self-contained.
ale, and we had my own trash receptacle in there.
Yeah.
And that you would take out like once a week because we really didn't generate a whole lot of trash, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So he's bitching basically about the piles of shit that was in there from himself.
Right.
Prior to this.
Yeah.
And you go to pick up the recycle bin. If you pick up your recycle bin and all you hear is the clanking of glass, there's your sign.
Yep. Yeah.
When I pick up the recycle bin in my home, it really doesn't make any noise. It's basically plastic and cardboard and, the sales flyers that you get in the mail that, belong in the recycle bin.
Yeah.
But you don't hear 5 pounds of clanking glass.
Right. There's also the thing about the toilet paper. We were buying our own toilet paper.
Yeah, we were buying our own toilet paper, and it was the bizarrest thing in the world.
And then the also too this repeating theme of I talk to my friends and they all agree with me. That's so childish.
Well, duh.
They're
your fucking friends.
They're your friends. They're getting your side of the story.
If they're not agreeing with you, then they're not your friends, obviously.
Yeah.
All 4 of them, yes.
Like I'm supposed to read that and go, oh, wait, oh, geez. Chewbacca. His friends agree with him. Oh, fuck.
All 4 of them. Oh, my gosh. What could I be thinking?
I didn't realize.
I'm terribly insane.
I guess Chewbacca. It has been right all along. His friends agree with him. I had no idea.
I love how he talks about his reputation in town.
Oh, God.
When I asked
He has a terrible reputation.
I asked one restaurant owner, just one. Oh, I heard so-and-so worked for you.
Chewbacca.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, about a week. Really? Did he quit? No. He could never show up for work clean. It was disgusting. It was a problem. I couldn't have him serving my clientele. I told him to clean it up. He didn't clean it up. He was out. So basically, he lasted less than a week at this place.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say where, who, or what, because I understand he's worked at a number of them, which is another indicator.
Chewbacca. This is the kind
I like longevity in people. You see somebody that's had a job and it's like, oh, you've been doing this since when?
Well,
great.
I remember Chewbacca telling me about his experience at that restaurant. And of course, Chewbacca puts a completely different spin on it that makes him seem really good. But Chewbacca. It's the kind of idiot who just tells tall tales, and
Was that the one that he claimed that they were using his recipe and he could sue them for it, but he's not gonna?
Stuff, yeah. Chewbacca. He's the kind of idiot who tells tall tales, and it never enters his mind that you might actually know some of the same people that he knows, so you know that he's full of shit. I've known quite a few people like that in my life who do that. It just doesn't even occur to them that you might already know these same people, and so it's pretty easy to figure out that he's just giving you a line of bullshit.
And some of them you may know for 10 or so years.
Yeah.
So you kind of trust their opinions.
Yeah, he has a terrible. We know for a fact the people at the 7-Eleven around the corner. Chewbacca. If you yourself ever listen to this, newsflash: the people at the 7-Eleven around the corner hate you. They think you're an overbearing douche.
And you treat them like shit, and they wish you'd stop fucking coming.
They hate you. Chewbacca. They are not your friends.
They see you coming and go, oh, shit.
And I'll tell you what, the times that I went in there with Chewbacca, I would feel embarrassed because it was obvious to me that he was trying to kid around with them and do some sort of camaraderie thing and be good-natured. But you know those people who try to do that, but they don't but they don't do it very well.
You
and
know,
they
like
end up
that
just
guy
coming
that
off like
says,
assholes.
like, I had a friend that was black in high school.
Yeah, yeah.
He's that dude.
Right. Yeah.
He's that dude.
Yeah. Yeah. They hate you.
Chewbacca.
Everyone hates you. Everyone except your
The four friends.
Yeah, everyone except the people in that peer group that you like to send emails to. The
yes.
one that we're not allowed to, where we're not allowed to respond to anyone because one of them got upset with us. So we'll wrap up this episode, and we will
and
be
ask
back.
yourself, really, did you hear the same email that we did?
Did you?
IPMNation.com.